Hi, this is Ash Bass. I'm going to add a little bit of info here for you, those of you who've used the G3X or the G3 Tap Tempo mod. Just some basic history on that one. When the new firmware came out, Zoom changed the action of the patch select buttons to make them scroll buttons instead. So, see how that works. Scroll left, I'll scroll right. And they changed or moved the patch select buttons to be a combination with the tap button. So for me to get patch select, I have to first hold down tap, push, then I can press either button, and now I'm getting the original functionality, or patch select. Now the workaround I came up with for this is to have an extra wire come out of the unit and into your switch box. And we would use that extra wire to turn tap on or off. That way, if you press the button so that it was on or latched on, it was just like having the tap button pressed all the time. And when the tap button is pressed, we know that the two buttons here do patch select. Now the downside of that mod, or that application of it, is you needed basically two switches. One switch to turn on off, holding the tap button down, and then another switch to do your tap tempo. So to do a tap tempo, you'd have to first click the tap switch to unlock it. Then you'd press your tap tempo button to set your tempo. If you wanted to go back to patch select, you'd set the tap button so that it was locked again. Well, what I've done here, came up with an idea that might help us out going forward at least, if not maybe some of you wanting to retrofit this into your own pedals. This unit here, I use at the very end of my chain, so I don't really care about tap tempo or the rhythm function. I've made my little switch enclosure. I have patch select up and down, which of course right now works as scroll. And then over here, I have scroll and then bank, no tap. So to test this, what I did was wired the two connections to the tap button inside the unit to little quick connector tabs. And if I want to get patch select, I would connect these like so. And I just fold those up and leave them inside the unit. So now the scroll button does patch select. I'm not physically touching or holding down the tap button, but this connection of wire in the back is. If I break that connection, I now get scroll again. Here's what we came up with. Now I got another little switch. It's only got single pole, single throw. But the difference between this switch and my others is that it's not normally off or open. This switch, without being pressed, is connected or on. So these two right now are connected together. So I'm going to alligator clip these wires to the wires coming out of my G3. One. And there's two. Because this switch, as I said, is already on, it starts off in the on position or closed position. It's exactly as if these two were touching themselves. So what should happen is that when I press my patch buttons, I will not get scroll. Instead, I will get patch. And there it is. So patch works. Now, here's the coolness about this new mod. In most of the mods you did before, we had to have a separate switch, one that would lock or unlock the tap feature. And then we could use this to set the tap tempo. What we're doing here, by using an automatically on switch, is we're connecting these so normally tap is pressed. If I press this button, tap becomes unpressed. And I'll just do that a couple of times, and it's tap tempo. Take a look and see. Tempo 59, 62, 150. and down to 44. It's a 2-in-1 switch based on what we've previously done. In the one place, it automatically connects the 2 solder spots for tap. And that keeps tap on all the time so that I can now use my patch select buttons. And we also have a dedicated tap tempo button, because when I press it and release, I'm getting my tempo. Normally the tap tempo would work when you pressed the button. Now it's working essentially when the switch is being released. But again, little fix to our previous mods is by a normally closed momentary switch. Wire that to your 2 tap button solder spots, and you get tap tempo, and you also get patch up and down. And that's it. Good luck.